Welcome to the Collaborate and Create series. Today in our conversation, we're going to think about collaboration. And we've been brought to this space by it being Reflection Day yesterday and really reflecting on our collaboration as a trio. We've come together over the last few months and years, in fact, to work together to bring our collective strengths to offer new opportunities to the clients we serve. We wanted to explore a little bit more of that today. So, Lucy, I wonder if you might give us some of your thoughts around collaboration. What does it mean to you and how does it show up in the work that you do?
Big theme that's been coming up for me is connection. And if I think about our collaboration, think about some of the collaborations that we help teams, leaders, organizations to build, the most powerful ones and the ones that really do create something bigger together than they could alone are where there's a meaningful connection. Often that comes through relationship and really committing to each other, understanding what's important to each other, to really deepen that personal connection. And then, of course, that's created within a organizational or professional or action connection, commitment towards a common goal. Might not be a common understanding on how you're going to get there, but there's a commitment to where you want to get to and why it's important to you. There's a shared belief. So there's the connection is not only between yourselves, it's where you're wanting to get to and why it's important to you, why it matters.
Lovely, Annie. Do you want to build on that?
I do. Collaboration. I'm passionate about collaboration. I have always loved working with other people and working together. So working with both of you separately and then bringing you both together has been a great joy for me. And collaboration does give me great joy. I was recently helped to think about collaboration from the perspective of when it's right to collaborate and when it might be a case of cooperating or coordinating. So I've been giving quite a lot of thought and reflecting on when is it best to collaborate, when is it best to coordinate, and when is it best to cooperate, and distinctions between those three. But all of them hinge on building relationships in which people feel safe. In fact, potentially, where we are coordinating and simply cooperating, there's a requirement to trust each other even more, just to simply let people get on with it because we trust them to do it. What I love about our partnership and our collaboration is that we each bring different strengths and are able to help each other put different things into action. And I really believe that through that, we bring a collaborative edge. I love the way you talk about serving our clients' nuts. And I think through bringing our collaborative edge and talking with clients about the practices that will help them realize that in their everyday, we truly serve our clients.
Mm. And if I reflect on our relationship as a trio, as a partnership, it is exactly about that. It's magnifying one another's skills through the lens of our collaboration. We have this ability to boost one another. If one of us is having a day of it and we're thinking, I just need a bit of energy, we will pick up the phone and have that conversation, a little email. So really working together to lift one another is so important in that collaborative space with trust, with love and kindness, to really recognise that we are better working as a group. We achieve more by doing so. Lovely. It's a lovely topic to be speaking about.
It's interesting because I noticed as you say that, I was remembering some of my initial resistance to us coming together. And it sort of reminds me that collaboration isn't always easy. Often there's something that perhaps you need to give up to fully step into your collaboration. And that's, in the past, you've used the phrase generous collaboration. What are you really giving into it? What do you need to give up? And for me, it was kind of coming back to the UK after spending a long time living overseas in the Middle East, living and working there, coming back in, having a big relationship with Annie, and sort of recently rekindled that through a piece of work we were doing around culture and collaboration. And then being introduced to you, Nat, as a new relationship, and totally trusting Annie that anyone she's choosing to collaborate would be more than enough for any collaboration I'd want to step into. And yet having that hesitation and needing to kind of build my own trust and respect and sort of ability to truly invite your contributions and respect your contributions. And there's a bit of a journey, isn't there, I think, to go through when you are stepping into a collaboration, to fully invest in it. And he talked about building the safety, the psychological safety, the creating that sense of true belonging, truly feeling that you've got a space, you've got a slot that you can validly contribute within, and know that that will grow and blossom and bloom bigger and better because of the collaboration you're in. So I have to say, I'm very grateful for the collaboration, that I was able to get over myself and my own initial hesitation into being able to fully step into it.
It really raised a lovely point there around that reticence, the fear, perhaps that's been inbuilt in us, that if we give away what we have, then somebody else will nick it and, run off with our ideas. And how do we relax into that, recognise that our skills are our own, and how we do them, the secret sauce of them is how we deliver them. We're not splitting the atom here. We don't have a specific, tiny thing here. It is that building upon space and getting out of our own ways, and thinking about how organisations can encourage that type of collaborative culture to really help them move faster, move more effectively, move more abundantly into those spaces. Really noticing just how comfortably those two words, collaborate and create, sit together. It's not an accident that we've landed upon those, because they really are, very natural bedfellows. They like to be together. They like to magnify one another, and offer us space to really be expansive and abundant. So really encouraging that space and creativity as well to really boost. I suppose I see it as a sort of booster button, I guess, on the way we can move through things. How creative can we be? But to be creative, we have to be vulnerable. And to be vulnerable, we have to trust. We have to feel a sense of belonging. We have to feel a sense of purpose. So bringing us all the way back to the beginning of our conversation, in that we have to feel part of something bigger than we are individually, to be able to really lean into that collaborative space. And that's built through, as both of you have said, relationships, trust, and a sense of belonging. So if I maybe bring our conversation to a close and think about top tips for our listeners today on what you would suggest for collaboration. Lucy, I'll come to you. You're leaning forward, on the edge.
I think sort of, again, coming back to my initial reticence and what I would have lost out on if I'd have stuck to that and dug my heels in and got protective or even defensive around kind of stepping into something, having to give something up, would be stay curious. Stay curious when you recognize that perhaps you're stepping into judgment or defensiveness. Stay curious and ask yourself, what really could I gain from stepping into this? What am I fearful of? And how can I work through that to really step into generously to this collaboration?
Great. I would add to that to be constantly asking, where can I collaborate? And what would that look like? if I were to collaborate, and building on what you just said, Lucy, around what do I need to let go of? What do I need to step away from to step into collaboration? So that spirit of curiosity and inquiry.
So for me, I think you've talked about what I need to let go of. I ask myself a slightly different question, which is what do I stand to gain? What is this interesting, amazing, fascinating human being going to bring to my insight? How are they going to change my perspective? How are they going to bring their unique gifts and abilities to the problem that I'm working on, and go in an abundant fashion into that relationship? I've certainly noticed myself when I've been a little bit, like as you've said, Lucy, a little bit, a wee bit nervous about this, when I've lent into it, when I've thought, what am I going to gain? Who is this person? What can I know from them? Suddenly the relationship has blossomed. It's the key that unlocks that door of anxiety. So yeah, I would say lean right forward, be abundant in your thought, and trust that those around you are also just trying to move forward. They're trying to grow as humans. And if we think that way, then we'll all grow better.